back in Mistmore. Level 24. I'm not trying to rhyme. Boy, imagine if I could target that thing through the wall and somehow nuke it through the wall and get it to run at me. I mean, that would create the ultimate train. Okay. So there are some potentials for groups here because I just saw this Paladin went LFG and she is clearly twinked out. I mean, what does she got here? Baton of Fate, that's pretty good. Chestplate, oh my gosh. Get out of here. Way too much. Oh, Rawhide Cloak. Gotta throw in something there to humble you. I don't know that I want to do Mistmore, though. I really want to do Graveyard, but I think I gotta come back in a couple levels for Graveyard. So, here's what I thought. And I want to offer this tip out to anyone who thinks, oh, you know, I'm stuck where I am. I don't really know where to go. Maybe you've been in Mistmore, like on Rest for level 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and you're kind of getting sick of it. And you want to try somewhere new. The developers gave us one of the best tools in the game for a reason, not just a social reason, but also to help the player out. Try out, take your level, for example, /who, or you can just type /space, all 24, because that's my level. Level 24. Okay, so what do we got? You can see where other players are playing and get an idea for, hey, I don't know where that zone is, but I see other players in my level range playing there, so maybe I want to go there. So we've got a guy in Butcher. Okay, he's probably not X-Bing. East Commons, probably not X-Bing. Furiona Vi could be X-Bing, but more likely traveling. East Commons, same deal. Cab East, well, that's an Ixar. I did this a little bit ago, and that Ixar was in Lake of Ill-Omen. Steamfont, probably not X-Bing. Greater Fader, probably not X-Bing. Okay, so no one in that level range is X-Bing. We can expand it out a little bit, and we'll get too many players, but let's see. Warslick. Ooh, I love Warslick. The Giants. Let's see. Lava Storm. Soul A. I would love to do Soul A. Let's see. Unrest. Obviously. Oasis. Warslick Woods. Mistmore. Guk Top. I would love to do. Wow, it looks like they have an actual group in Guk Top. Oasis. High Keep. Now, someone suggested that in the comments. I would love to do High Keep. That is actually one of my favorite camps in the game. The Goblins and High Keep. I will go there for sure. I think 24 is a little bit low. And that guy's actually 25. Now, as a cleric, I could probably get away with it. Oh my gosh. This guy's really tempting me. The thing that stuck out to me earlier, Guk Top I really, really want to do. Let's see, how many people are in Guk Top? So here's another thing. You take the name of the zone as it's displayed in the Who All and do a /Who All. 18 players, we got some high teens, level 30, 20s, 45, that's probably passing through. 20s, gosh, maybe I could go to Guk Top. I was thinking about going to Lake of Ill-Omen because there's a really good solo spot there. And that XR that I saw earlier was there. There's a really good solo spot. Well, it's even not just a spot. Lake of Ill-Omen has a lot of undead, and it's right in my level range. And gosh, I think I want to do it. I think I want to try Lake of Ill-Omen because I've only really shown one part of Kunark in this walkthrough. So let me commit to going to Lake of Ill-Omen. And to do that, I'm going to start by going to Furiona Vi, which I've already done, so I'm going to do that off camera. But then I'll show you how to get to Lake of Ill-Omen. So let's save you a little time. I'll do it here in real life, but let's go through with that. All right, impromptu recording here. I was going to cut all this out, but okay, so I gated back. I have a rant to go on, and I will fully admit I am in the wrong on this rant. So I gated back, and I was just going to run to, Butcher Block, take the boat, and I see that there's a cleric in the zone. So the druid, level 24. So I'm like, hey, can I get a so? And he says, sure. I said, where can I find you? He says, this is something that has pissed me off since 1999. I apologize for swearing. Hopefully I bleep that out. I just hate when people do this. Okay, the guy says 1100, 1529 by the Minotaurs. Okay, so he's giving me his /LOC. And as you can see, I'm trying to figure out the damn LOC. I have never been able to figure out the LOC. Again, I am in the wrong here. I fully admit that. I just don't get the system. It doesn't make any sense in my head. But I'm looking at a map and I'm like, okay, that could be one of two places that are both kind of there's two minnow caves in this, two minnow areas in this zone. There's the minnow caves, which I've shown, And then there's the ones by the Lesser Fate Arc zone line. So I eventually just asked him, I said, hey, are you by the caves or the minnows that are near the caves? Or minnows that aren't near the caves. And he says the one by the Lesser Fate Arc zone line. Now let me just put up a map of... This is right by Lesser Fate Arc. And this goes to my pet peeve since the start of this damn game way back in the day. Here he is. If you're near a landmark, why not just say that instead of giving me the LOC? And this actually leads to an impromptu story time with Uncle Freke. Okay. Let me... I'm so mad right now. I'm just mad because of what this reminds me of. Like, if this guy just said, look, I'm right... Like, this is Lesser Fate Arc. He's right there. If this guy had just said, I'm near the Lesser Fate Arc, the Minnows by Lesser Fate Arc, I would have found him way faster. Because what is not shown among all this LOC, I was by the damn slaver, like, the caves. And, it just makes me so mad. I wasted time. If you're near a landmark, tell me the landmark. Don't tell me the damn LOC, because that doesn't freaking help me. Alright, thanks to Achuga here for giving me I've been waiting around here for a while. As you can see, I took the boat. Whoo boy. So before I do Storytime with Uncle Freke, I am going to show the run to Lake of Ilomin. Once I figure out where I am. I think I'm... Okay, yeah. This is the bridge. So, I've never shown this run before, and I will straight up admit it's a dangerous run. You know what? I just realized I should have asked that guy for invisibility. But whatever. I'll do it without invis. Although I will say, if you are planning on doing this run yourself and you're in this level range, I mean, really, if you're under level 30, just be very careful, because this run can be extremely dangerous. I hope I'm not making a mistake here. Okay. So, the first thing to know, you want to look for this big Ixar statue that's at sort of the middle of a river. Like, see how, I guess he's got the thing coming underneath him? What do you call that? A bank? A pilgrim is fighting. You're going to see a lot of these spiders. A whole lot. And you're going to see some of these caves. Ignore those caves. Those caves are not for us. I hope this water's safe. Typically what I do is I run over there. Actually, I think I should still do that. Because Alright, I haven't done this run in a good 10 years. But I'm telling you, my memory is as sharp as a tack. That is why I'm able to do these Storytime with Uncle Freke videos. They're stories from like 20 plus years ago. Now, you've seen me, perhaps you've seen me in some of the earlier levels. I did a little bit of running through this zone. And I saw some of these spiders, but I also saw some other mobs. On this run, sadly, we are only going to see spiders. We're not going to see any froglogs, we're not going to see any giants, we're not going to see any drovelargs, we're just going to see spiders. So, run underneath this guy's legs. Stay as close to the water as you can. However, if you're a gnome like me, you're probably going to accidentally swim, and your swimming is probably not as fast as your running. So, just stay near the water and keep running. Whatever you do, do not turn back, because those pilgrims are not going to save you. You want to stick with this water. The water may weave back and forth a little bit. Just stay next to it. If you see a spider, try to go around it while still staying near the water, because the spiders will walk through the water. And even if I did have invisibility, some of these spiders see through invisibility. What? Well, never mind what I said. Apparently you will see something other than a spider. You'll see Scout Tree Kill. I think that's the one that's secretly in Ixar. But that's a story for another day. I think we're safe. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any NPCs come up this high. And what you want to do is just run right through this zone line that's here. Yep, here it is. Whew, okay, that was kind of scary. Now, in this lake, it's the first time on this walkthrough in this zone. Once I get situated, I'll tell my story about the whole /lock/location thing. Now, you're relatively safe. This zone can be pretty dangerous. Not as dangerous as Fury of Eye, but still pretty dangerous, even for a level 24. Drowning is not really one of the things you have to worry about, although as a gnome you have to worry about it more than most other classes. Pond Sturgeon, Scowls, it looks like it would actually give me XP. You're better off staying away from the water, because here there's Pond Sturgeon, And further down, there are goblins that are much higher level. And there's 10 players in the zone. That's about what I expected. Unfortunately, this zone is not too populated, even though, well, I talked about it in my Is Kunark Overrated video, but I think this is a great zone. The problem is the Zem. That's why people don't come here. The Zem is too low. In fact, it might even be negative. Oh, and I think one of the reasons people do camp checks is because there is a key NPC for the Howling Stone zone. In fact, that's probably the main thing people are doing camp checks on. Once you get down here, I guess you'll see the water change color here from turquoise to blue. How that works, I don't know. You would think if the turquoise was running into the blue, it would eventually turn turquoise. But let's not, you know, it's a 22-year-old expansion. Let's not judge it too hard. That is, well, let me follow my own advice here and just not be around here. I do have my undead, my brand new undead nuke memorized, which I'm very excited about. I haven't even cast it yet, actually. This will be my first time. The reason why I recommend this zone to clerics in my level range is because there are quite a few undead. Now, is that a player's corpse? Yeah. There's a goblin over here that's a soothsayer. That means it's a shaman. I mean, it's like running right at me, so that's pretty frightening. Uh-oh. And there's an Ixar Marauder. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to try to avoid anything that's not a skeleton, and there might even be some skeletons I need to avoid. The other dangerous thing is the saber-toothed tigers, not tigress, tigers. Because they are the higher level. Although, now that I'm level 24, I think they're around level 20. So I should be fine. Ooh, there's an undead. What's he? Lesser Icebone. Okay, it's green, but it'll give me XP. And we must have another player around here because we have a corpse. Corpse that has not been looted. Yeah, I'll take that. The reason I'm going over here, even though this is not where I recommend hunting undead, is because I want to show a famous landmark in this zone. It's just so funny how stuff wanders around. There's Sarnax too. That's one of the big things in this zone. There's a tiger. It's blue. Okay. So I don't think anything outside of the fort and maybe some of the goblins are going to be anywhere close to my level 24. Another cool thing that you'll sometimes see in this zone... Ooh, there's a lesser charbone that's blue. You'll sometimes see NPCs fight, like goblins and, I want to say, Sarnax will fight each other. And this is why it's called Windmill, because there's a giant windmill, which, as a gnome, brings back fond memories, because I grew up near the windmills. I grew up near 3 big windmills. Is it 3 or 4? I think it's 3. So the windmill is generally safe. You'll have NPCs come close to the windmill, like that tiger, or, oh, saber-toothed Grimalkin. I think that's even higher than the tiger. So I stand corrected. The tigers are not the most dangerous form of that. But generally nothing wanders in there. Let's try out my new nuke when it doesn't fizzle. I don't know if you're really safe over here. Oh, you know what I meant to memorize? Well, let's just see what this does. I mean, I'm not going to die, right? Famous last words. I meant to memorize my little 140. Wow, that is awesome. I will say there, I do recall an NPC that wanders sort of around here. And it's not this one I'm fighting, it's a tiger. I mean, this thing is just getting toasted. I meant to memorize my fear. Stun, oh yeah, that's a little close. Stun, I'm probably not going to get a ton of use of as a soloer. I was using that in Mistmore. Jesus, this thing's getting closer and closer. Spook the Dead, that's what I want. Yeah, so that gets pretty close. And let's just make sure there's nothing inside the windmill that I'm KOS to, because there are 2 NPCs in here that are not Ixars. We are in Ixar territory, but we are also right near where the pilgrims were exploring. If I can find the entrance. What is going on? Where is the entrance? How did I miss it? I thought it was like right here. Okay, it's right here where the torches are. So 1 torch on either side. And we've got Professor Akabao and Nub's Black Granite. Is that your real last name? Come on now. Let me tint this, texture it, and tint color. I usually go dark. Maybe we'll try this blue. That's not great. Black? Maybe gray. That's not really great either. All right, I'm just gonna go black. Wait, what would this look like? Okay, let me stop messing around. I'll go with what works. I'll go with black. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll sell them the silver stud. And I cleared out my bags before I came here in Caledon, actually, on my way to the dock. Giant grub digger, eh? Blade of Passage, wow. 730, oh, that's not very good. 20 hit points, though. Okay, so clearly the undead are not going to be a huge problem. This is not really the ideal spot to hunt undead, but enough of them wander around here that if you're just sitting and medding between pools, it works. But the spot that I remember, ooh, Warbone Skeleton, that sounds even higher level. I might have to actually look into which skeletons, what the hierarchy of skeletons are in this zone. Now, I think that because some NPCs like that one wander kind of close, I think you're probably safest in the middle because I don't think any NPCs wander right through here. So let's just hang out here. Now, I will say one funny thing. This is too short to count as a story time with Uncle Freke. I was convinced that this guy right here, Professor Akabau, was the guy, Al-Kabor, the guy who, like, the whole... Well, there's a few spells named after him for wizard. He's like a famous wizard NPC within the lore of the game. Kind of like how Furion Abai is a famous high elf NPC. There's a Uridite wizard, and I bet you this guy is a wizard if you attacked him. Not that I would recommend that. There's a famous wizard Uridite male NPC named Professor Al-Kabor, I think. I think he's a professor. But this name is so similar that I thought this was the guy that like did all that, you know, finding all the spires for Lucklin and all that stuff, investigating the Combine. Anyway, not the case. His name is similar, but not quite the same. Okay, let me med up. When I come back, I may travel to the part of this zone. Oh! I gotta be careful. I don't want to get too close to these things because I don't even have any. Oh, wow! That one's an even con at level 24. Wow. There's some ballers in this zone. Okay. I will show the area that I prefer to hunt undead while I have my Spirit of Wolf, hopefully. Be back in a sec. Alright, so from the windmill here... Ooh, hello. Let's see. I'm going by my memory of this zone. I haven't looked at a map. Ooh, I should put Invisverse Undead up, just in case. I'm going by my memory, which is not as accurate as a map. And I've got a location in mind. There are two ways that I can really go from here. No, okay. There's this way. So this whole thing is like a valley, which is more dangerous for sure. But I think it's faster too. And then there's that way down by the beach, which is much safer, but I think it's slower. And while I have so... Oh, come on. Might as well go to the dangerous way while I have so. Okay. Speaking of so, this is not going to last forever. I would ideally like to have a bunch of so pots on me. Oh man, look at that. I do not like seeing spellcasters running around. Yeah, this is the valley I was thinking of. Okay, I need to be in Frogger mode here. I had heard from someone who watches the channel that said that they wanted to give me some soap potions, which is amazing. I just haven't been able to link up with him yet. In fact, I need to message that guy back. Very kind. I think he's in a different time zone than me, so we'll need to figure that out. But for now, I have no idea how long this is going to last. So the ideal spot that I'm thinking of, and again, I'm going off my memory here, a little bit rusty, is, well, actually, that little house up here, I think has some undead in it. There's a spot in this zone that I feel comfortable with that has undead. Yeah, that is an undead house, but this is not a safe spot. And that thing is red? At level 24, it's red? Well, that's definitely not the spot I'm talking about. I didn't think anything would be red outside of, like, I don't know, some high-level Sarnax. Wow, there's the water. Okay. Stick with the valley. I'm pretty sure this will take me to, first, the Sarnak Fortress. Ugh. Blue. Regular Icebone is blue. Grimalkin. There's a caster running around. This is absolutely frightening. Because even with So, that thing can root me, dispel me. Well, I have Gate up. Charbone is even. Wow. If I had full mana, I might give that a shot. I would have to fear it because I can't take its melee. And is this enough? No, this is a goblin. This is a goblin tower. Not really gonna mess with... I mean, I could do a blue goblin with my normal nuke. That's not a caster. Not ideal, but I could do it. Rather stick with undead. Oh, look at all this undead. Look at all this. And another caster. Okay, and then here's the Sarnak Fortress. It looks really cool. They did a great job with this fortress. I mean, it looks like a legit fortress, and it's big. Oh boy, okay, it's coming back to me now. There's a couple spots over here that I feel pretty confident about. I have to pick a spot knowing that I'm going to lose So. I really like those ice bones. Put that back on. So the Sarnak Fortress has a few entrances, and as you can see up here, there's a path that kind of goes to another part of the fortress, but you can also get there from within there, I think. I'm not going to mess. In fact, if anything, I would like to maybe try and boost my Sarnak faction. So, couple options here. Ooh, I never even noticed that. Look at that. There's all those symbols up there. Couple options here. There's a few roamers that come down here. I think one of them is a skeleton. Maybe it's even that one. Over here is pretty safe. I could safely pull a skeleton over in this little corner and fear it, kite it, nuke it, melee it, whatever, without much fear of something else joining in the fight. And let's see if there's an invisible wall here, or can I go all the way back? I think if I could go all the way back, it would take me into the fortress. There's probably going to be a wall here. Oh no, look at that. Huh. Wow. Makes me wonder if I could just, like, climb over this and be in the fortress. Nope, okay, I hit the invisible wall. Okay, but this area is obviously very safe. I mean, if I just sat right here and meted, I don't think I would have to worry about anything coming up to me. So this area is safe. However, there is another option. That is to go down by the water. Sounds like a Neil Young song. Look at this. This guy comes right up to me. Okay, I mean, I can't turn this down. He's right here. But let me put that fear up. Not that fear. That fear. It's hard to turn down a single skeleton that comes right up to me like this. Oh, cool. You resisted. Great. I love just wasting all that mana. That took a lot of mana, too. Oh, come on. Let's see how much mana that's taking. Wow, that's, what, 16%? Okay, looks like he's a monk NPC, just judging by his attack animation. He better not resist anymore, because I only got one more nuke in me. Okay, I should be able to melee him for the rest of this. Gosh, that's a full mana bar, though. Yeesh. Well, maybe I should specialize in evocation. 125. That's got to be the max for my level. Jesus, and you got to remember, these things do not run unless you fear them, and they're low on health. Then it's like they're snare feared, which I could have done if I was a dark elf. Not going to go into that. Glad I chose a gnome. Happy with all my decisions, including that 5 charisma. Absolutely no regrets. Maybe some little regrets. Boy, that works really well. There's a great tip for you. Even if you don't have snare, if you fear something and it's really low on health, it's like it's snared. And look how slow this thing's moving. Even without So, this would be fine to chase down. My memory of the map is coming back to me. Yeah, I'll take that. I probably won't take that, especially if it's a lore item. Okay, so if I go down by the river, the lake, I should say. It's a lake. Kind of looks like an ocean, but it's a lake. Do I have any mana to cast this? I do. Why am I not getting the casting sound? Am I going link dead? What's going on here? Your spell is interrupted. Insufficient mana to cast a spell. Okay. Huh? 40 mana? Damn. So I don't like that thing comes kind of close. Because I think that actually paths this way. Because I recall being in some groups with hunting the Sarnax where we would sit out here, like right there, and fight these guys as well as pull from inside the fortress. And whoa, see, did you see that? That goblin just appeared and then disappeared, so they clearly come right around here. I still think that's a good option, but if I go... I just want to show this area because this is another good option, and I don't think I'm getting so anytime soon. Oh, there is a 32 druid here. Maybe. There's another good skeleton. So if you go left, in fact, it's safest to run right up to the water, because that's generally in this game, you're safe if you're sitting right by the water. There's no crocodiles to worry about, no alligators. Not in this zone anyway. No lockjaws here. There are goblins in the water, and they're a different kind of goblin. They're aqua goblins. Kind of like Oasis. In fact, this zone does have a lot of parallels with Oasis. But you're safe here. Some stuff does come around here, but it doesn't come like right up against the water. This area here eventually leads toward Cabalus, which is the Ixar city. But in between here and Cabalus, well, there's actually a really long run with some nice, like, I don't know what to call them. The lore things, like the Ixar statues and stuff like that, and like a big tower-looking thing. See, let's see how close this guy gets. And I could, well, I think I could kill that. I mean, that's pretty darn close. I recall from memory sitting right there and pulling. Right in that little peninsula. It's pretty close, but not close enough that I wouldn't be okay. Oh, this is what it is. Okay, so these ruins up here have a bunch of undead that I would pull. Maybe it was that peninsula I sat at. Right here. It's one of these peninsulas, because the further out you are, the safer you are from wanderers. Maybe it was this one. Who's that? Ixar Bandit. Okay, so the other thing is, because this is also an Ixar newbie zone, you start to see low-level NPCs. But even though I can see that bandit from here, inside this structure, they're going to be around my level. We're like right on the edge with the... Okay, I'm not just going to march in there without confirming first. See, that one's blue. That this is skeletons and not... well, I also don't have this up, so even if it was a skeleton. These are skeletons and not goblins. So those are probably low level. Yeah, so... Oh, except for a saber-toothed Grimulkin just walking around. Kunark is pretty dangerous, man. The lower level stuff is here for the Ixar newbies. This zone was a complete failure for Ixar newbie zones. Every Ixar, they have 4 choices for newbie zones. They pretty much all stick with Field of Bone, which I've been to. Yeah, these are all lower level-ish, I think. Yeah. I guess the highest is the Flunkies. The Flunkies are in the over there as well. They're pretty low level. These guys are low level. Okay, so I'm like right around the border. And I do remember, yeah, there's some explorers in there because I remember coming here on some evil characters. Well, I guess I'm technically an evil character, but not really. And getting attacked by those things in there. Interesting that they're blue. So that way is toward Cabalus. Oh, I thought that was so fading. I mean, so is going to fade soon, so I might as well. Oh, I had Talisman of Altoona this whole time? That's cheating. When the hell did I get that? Who even gave that to me? That must have been someone in Furion of I. Okay. Well, I actually like this beach area better than the area by the Sarnak Fortress, even though that area is probably a little bit safer. I wish I was getting like the water sounds like an oasis, but I'm not. Just because I like the sound of running water, but I'm not getting it here. Maybe it's a setting I don't have turned on. Environment sounds. Yay! I got it. It was that. Okay, that's actually a little annoying because it's louder than I thought it would be. But bottom line is, I think I'm pretty safe right here. I can pull undead, and I don't have to worry about wanderers. That water sound is really loud. And I'm still hearing it out here, huh? Maybe I'll turn that back off. What the heck? I'm just trying to see if there's any skeletons in here, and I'm not seeing anything. So Charbone. Are you telling me these are just empty ruins? Ooh, an even con. Well. Oh, it's goblins. Okay. Noted. Well, there's still plenty of wanderers. That fading message, your hit points fade from that Talisman of Altoona, that's like the worst fading message you can get. Sounds like you just got hit for a bunch of damage. There's more than one way to make your hit points fade. Okay, let me try just sitting by this little brush here. Alright, that is just too loud. Maybe 5%? Okay, this will be my med spot for now, and I'll see if I get attacked. I'll actually do, I know some people hate it when I F9, but, you know, I gotta be safe here. See if anything comes even remotely close to me. And once I'm ready to fight again, I'll come back and we'll do story time. Yay? Eh? Yeah, be right back. Alright, story time with Uncle Freke. Real quick, I'm in a different spot in Lake Velomen, as you can see. I'm about to ding. Probably about 1 kill away. I'll talk about Lake Velomen after story time. I have some thoughts. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. This game, as you know, Spirit of Wolf is a very valuable spell. Everyone wants it. Not everyone can cast it. Not everyone can afford soap potions. It's not a necessary spell, but it's really, really helpful. And once you have it and then you don't have it, you're like, oh man, I need to get so again. The developers of this game decided, hey, let's throw the player base a bone here. We'll make an item that drops that can cast something similar to so. Journeyman's Boots. It dropped in Najna for the first few months, somewhere between launch and a year old. Journeyman's Boots would drop off of an NPC in Najna. This became problematic pretty quickly for 2 reasons. One, players were fighting like crazy over this item. Everyone wanted it. There was training, there was petitioning, GMs would always have to get involved. Apparently it was quite the cluster. Number 2, I think the developers also probably thought it dropped a little too easily, like it was a little too easy to get. So they decided to take this item and turn it into a quest. This should ding me. Lesser Icebone, perfect. A little bit more about Journeyman's Boots. They don't cast Spirit of Wolf, they cast the effect of Journeyman's Boots, which A, don't last as long as so. I think they last, I'm ballparking these numbers. Let's just say Spirit of Wolf lasts for 34 minutes. Depending on the caster, the level of the caster who casts it on you. And let's say that it's like a 35% run speed adjustment. Journeyman's Boots is something, it lasts something like 14 minutes, and it is a 29% run speed adjustment. So it's worse than so. But it's better than nothing, and it's close enough for most players. So they decided to turn it into a quest, and this quest involved a number of items that you have to pick up around the world. Woohoo! Level 25, wow. Ah, feels crazy to say. Oh, real quick, if anyone needs... I got a couple of these words here, including both sides of Sauron's Grimoire 24. I don't remember which enchanter spell that makes. If anyone needs this stuff, let me know, because I probably won't sell it for at least a week. Oh, it feels good. Okay, I'm going to get a little buffer XP while I continue this story. So, you need a bunch of items from around the world. The hardest one by far is the Ring of the Ancients from the Ancient Cyclops. Now, there are 4 Ancient Cyclops in the game. Ocean of Tears, East Karana, South Karana, Southern Row. I would say Southern Row is the most popular place to camp the Ancient Cyclops. Certainly the most competitive, especially on P99. Second, probably Ocean of Tears. And the other two, the ones in the Karanas, those are just really rare. I mean, they exist, but they're really hard to come across. So most players that want to camp the Ancient Cyclops, like myself back in 2000, 2001, whatever year it was, they'll go to South Row. So I was playing at the time, and I don't know. I want to say this was before Lucklin or maybe right after Lucklin came out. So let's just say either 2000 or 2001. Playing my Dark Elf Warrior, who was my main character at the time, and I had my Ranger friend who said, hey, I'll help you camp the Ancient Cyclops in South Row, because he has track and he has sow. Perfect combination. So we're there and we're running around. Now keep in mind, we didn't know all the stuff that people know these days. Like, I don't know if this is just a P99 thing, but on P99, the South Row Ancient Cyclops, he can only spawn at 9 p.m. I think it's 9. It's either 9 or 10. And he only spawns in a certain part of the zone. We didn't know all that, okay? We just knew he spawned somewhere in the desert part of South Row. And we thought it was just like, just kill as many NPCs as possible. All the skeletons walking around, all the desert madmen, all the beetles, kill them all. Ooh, meditate went up. Oh, by the way, my swim skill has gone up a lot. 106. So, we're running around killing everything. We decided to split up, Scooby-Doo style. Let's split up, gang. We figure we can cover more ground that way. So, I've got sow, I'm running around the zone, I'm killing everything. He's got sow, he's running around killing everything. He's a few levels higher than me. I was about level... maybe like 38, and he was like level 45. So he eventually, because we're grouped, even though we're split up, he starts like spamming like /G%T like over and over and just hitting like up, up, up. And it says Ancient Cyclops. And I'm like, oh my god, where? And he gives me the lock. Well, in between giving me the lock, I see his health bar going down a little bit, but he's like, no. I'm like, are you okay? Like, because I don't even know what level this thing is. I figure it's higher than a regular Cyclops, which is around level 30. He's like, yeah, I think I got it. But he says, he gave me the lock, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I gotta try to figure out this lock thing. I am so not a lock person. I'm so much more of a landmark person. Like, if I were here and someone asked me where I was, I wouldn't just be like, I'm at minus 918, minus 1544. I would be like, I'm along the lake, I'm near some ruins. You know, I would do landmarks. I can see a Nixar statue. That wouldn't help. But anyway, his health is going down, and he says there's someone else here. And I'm like, what do you mean there's someone else here? And he's like, this mage is trying to KS me. Because he swears he engaged it first. He saw it probably on track. He engaged it. And he says, you know, this magician is trying to steal it from me. So, I'm running around trying to find this lock. And I'm like, what are you near? Like, help me out here. And he's like, I gave you the lock. And he knows I have issues with locks. But he's one of those like, look, you got to learn how to use the locks. And he's probably right. But he's not telling me if he's near anything. He's like, just come, hurry. And I'm sitting here like freaking out. I'm like, I don't know where he is. So I'm doing the thing with the lock where like I'm trying to figure out, and you know, if he says I'm at minus 918, minus 1544, I'm like running along the desert. I'm like, okay, this number is getting closer, but the second number is getting further away. That's always my issue with the locks. I'm like, one of the numbers is getting closer, but the other one's getting further away, or they're both going in the wrong direction. So I'm running around, and he's like, hurry, and then he says something in the group like, I got him. Like he killed him. He killed the Ancient Cyclops. And he said he got XP, and he's looting the corpse. So he's telling me he's in the corpse. He's holding the corpse for me. Come to the corpse before this mage tries to steal it. Because the mage is still standing there right above the corpse. And if you don't know, your group has exclusive loot rights on something for the first 2 or 3 minutes of the corpse's life. The corpse lasts for 7 minutes, unless it's a raid mob, then it'll last for 30 minutes. Gosh, there's all these goblins. Oh, someone knocked this statue over. Let's see if I can lift it. Can I hoist it back up? Ugh! I can't get it. It's too heavy. Ugh, come on. Okay. So he's sitting there in the corpse, and you know that this mage is just waiting for the timer. And the mage probably knows that the ranger has someone coming to loot the Ring of the Ancients for the Journeyman's Boots quest. It's me. Mage doesn't know it's me, but it's me. And although I think at some point I started out a character and I'm like, back off, that's ours. Anyway, I'm running around, I can't find it. I'm running everywhere, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm trying to rationalize, like, where could this thing be? Oh, it appears to be quite formidable. That's too high. I'm thinking, okay, if he was near a landmark, he would tell me the landmark, right? Like, I know that he wants me to learn this lock thing, but, like, this is a desperate situation. He's not going to screw me on this. So, like, if you're near the Undead Tower in South Row, he would be like, I'm near the Undead Tower. If he's near the grass, he'd be like, I'm near the grass, somewhere along the grass. Ah! Speaking of so... If he was near, you know, the Gypsy Camp, he'd be like, I'm near the Gypsy Camp, or I'm near the North Row zone, or the Oasis Mora zone line. He wasn't saying anything. So I'm like, okay, he must not be near any landmark. He must be, like, in the middle of the desert somewhere, or maybe near one of the walls, but just saying I'm near the wall isn't going to help. So I'm thinking he's got to be somewhere not near a wall, or near a wall, but just, like, not near one of the landmarks. So I'm running around everywhere, and I'm trying to find this damn thing. And I've given up on the /lock. I'm just like, whatever. Where is this thing? And I'm running around, and I see one of the Derv camps. I'm like, no, he didn't say Derv camp. He would have said Derv camp. And I don't see the corpse. And it's a big corpse. Like, it's the Cyclops is a big creature. Granted, at the time, I had heard this rumor that the ancient Cyclops wasn't a normal Cyclops model. It was like a giant skeleton model. So I don't know what. I'm just looking for something that says ancient Cyclops corpse. Just like that says in my target box, Lesser Icebone Skeleton's corpse. So I'm running around, can't find it, and time is running out. And this freaking mage is there, and she's trying to loot it. And I remember specifically it was a dark elf female mage. See, this is the kind of thing when you have a traumatic event happen in your life, you remember all these weird little details. So I see the corpse from a distance, finally, and I see the mage standing there. That's why I remember what she looked like. And I remember thinking, okay, we're past the loot exclusivity time for the group. So as soon as my buddy, I didn't do the thing where I can figure out my hit points. As soon as my buddy lets go, she can loot it. And she knows that I'm here to loot it because I finally run up. I run up and my buddy's like, okay, I'm going to let go. Now, at this point, both me and the mage are just spam right-clicking this corpse because we know, whoever gets it, there's like a 50-50 chance, okay, that my spam right-click enters me into the corpse or that her spam right-click enters her into the corpse. We don't know who's going to get it. And this is all because I couldn't find it within the time of group exclusivity. So my buddy's like, ready? And I'm like, yes, ready. He lets go, and of course the damn Dark Elf Mage enters into the corpse, loots it, gates, runs off. And I'm just like, I'm so mad. Like my head is on the keyboard, and I'm like, no! My journeyman's boots. Freaking mage got it, and she didn't even get the kill. Now, here's the other thing that we didn't know back then. My buddy could have just looted it, and because we talked about this afterward. We did like a little hot wash of like what went wrong with our strategy. We were like, oh, you could have looted it, and we could have multi-quested it. We didn't know, okay? We were young and dumb. Naive, ignorant, whatever. So, this mage loots it. Here's the most annoying part of this story for me. It's not that he forgot that he could multi-quest it. It's not that the mage got it. The most annoying part is he was right near the Derv camp on the right side of the zone. I don't know. Maybe it's the north side of the zone. I'll look at a map and figure it out. Yeah, the eastern side of the zone, near the Undead Tower. He was right near the Derv camp. So I started yelling at him, why didn't you just say Derv camp? And he was like, well, I didn't know that there was only one or two of those in the zone, and maybe you got confused with another one. I didn't want to send you in the wrong direction, blah, blah, blah. Because he didn't know South Row as well as I did. I was like, you could have just said Derv camp, and I would have gone to one of the two Derv camps. And he was like, I didn't know there were only two, and I didn't want to throw you off. I didn't realize that was a big enough landmark, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's coming up with all these excuses. Which, in fairness, look, I'm the dumbass that can't figure out the /lock thing, okay? I'm the one that can't figure out how to get to here and here. It's not his fault. Totally my fault. Like, he helped me out. Not his fault. But I just wish he could have said Derv camp. Just like I wish that freaking druid could have just told me, hey, I'm by the Lesser Fadark zone line near the minnows. So, by the way, I'm going to have to get J-Boots on this character, so that'll be a fun video. That's a few levels from now. But it just made me so mad because this is just a difference of mentality. Some people will look at it and be like, why would I give you a landmark? I'm giving you the most accurate thing I could possibly give you. And I'm just like, yeah, my brain doesn't work that way. Just tell me a landmark. And I know I'm not the only one out there that has struggled with this location system. I still struggle with it. Okay, that's story time with Uncle Freke. It's a story of tragedy, as they often are. I think they're all stories of tragedy. Let me talk about Lake of Illumin before I get out of here. And I'm getting out of here. I'm not staying in this zone. First of all, how many people are in this zone right now? Okay. Surprisingly well populated, given what we know about this server. I mean, this server is like most of the people who are active on this server have a character over level 50. So the only players that would be in this zone, mostly alts. Most people are not like me. On this server, this is my highest level character. Mostly alts. I was shocked the other night. I was playing here, just exping, and there were 15 people here. However, they are mostly, well, almost entirely people soloing. Some of them are after some quest item, like this level 60. He's not here for XP. Who knows what he's doing? Same with the Druid. Most of the people that I've found in this zone are Necros, Enchanters, and Bards. And if you don't know, I hate Bards. I really hate Bards. I know that that's classist, and there's only one class that I'm classist against. It's Bards, because they do this really stupid style. Oh, I really want to try that thing out. This could be a big mistake. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm sure as hell going to wait for this. Oh, come on. See, I've been trying to do these because I want to get faction with Cabalus and the Sarnax. I'm purposely trying not to kill Sarnax. Anyway, Bards grab a bunch of mobs. They run around in this stupid little circle. And that's interesting. Oh, I can get so from him, can't I? Even though he's... Wait, what? Oh, never mind. I think he's a warrior. I thought he was a ranger for some reason. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can see anything. Nah, he's a warrior. He just got a critical hit. Okay. So Bards will run around in circles with like 10 mobs on them, more sometimes, doing their little AE DOT because they can run faster than the mob. Speaking of so. A lot of this episode is about run speed, isn't it? And it's just so annoying because, like, they'll try to avoid casters like that goblin I just saw because they don't want anything that can hurt them without physically hitting them. Their whole thing is, like, being able to stay away from the mob. A caster like that could root the Bard, and then the Bard is done because they've got, like, 15 mobs on him. So sometimes I'll see a mob out, and there's this area over here I'll show that a mob is just, like, running around, walking around, and I'm trying to grab it, and then this freaking Bard's swarm kite basically grabs the mob from me. And then sometimes a mob that I was attacking also had aggro with another mob that the Bard took, and then the Bard dies, and then all those mobs come after me. Like, there's just a lot of issues that I have with Bards. They're really annoying. I hate them. They really make trying to solo in a zone a pain in the ass sometimes. So I don't like that aspect. The other thing I don't like... Ooh, yes. Only it dropped all my... The other thing that I don't like about this zone is that there's a huge level disparity. So the area that I was the last time I stopped filming, where I said, like, this is my camp spot, I had to leave because stuff there was so high level, and it was crazy. So I would see charbone skeletons that were... It appears to be quite formidable. Wow, that's kind of scary. I would see charbone skeletons that ranged, con-wise, ranged from being blue to even to red. They were red at level 24. That means they're at least level 27. I couldn't believe it. And I didn't stand a chance against stuff like that. I also had a couple situations where mobs just snuck up on me when I was trying to pull them from around the Sarnak Fort area. This zone is just crazy dangerous, and I had to run to the zone a few times. Which zone? Well, I mostly ran that way to Fury of Eye. It seems like you can very quickly, like, here's a funny thing. So this thing is, whatever, level teens. Over there, right on the other side of that little stream, you can find mobs that are low-level Ixar mobs, like for Ixars that are newbies that are here hunting, like saber-toothed cats. And I don't know what level they are. Let's just say they're like level 9. And it's almost like a circle where, well, the zone is kind of a circle. It's a circle around the lake at least. The mobs where I was seeing red charbone skeletons, just a little bit of ways from them, in fact, their paths would cross sometimes, I would see these green mobs that were like Ixar newbie zone mobs. So, huge drop off, really frustrating. So I had to come back here because at least this stuff is all blue. Some of it's green, like a fair amount of this level was me killing greens that were high enough to give me XP, but still green. Like some of those lesser Icewind skeletons were green. It's just really annoying. And lastly, the Zem. The Zem in this zone sucks. I looked it up, it's 75%. So that means a normal XP, I would get 100%. I'm only getting like 75. It works something like that. I don't know why the Zem is so bad in this zone. I think it's because back in the day, this zone was like hyper-populated, but on this server, it's not. So I don't know what the disincentive is to not have people come here. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. Because I don't want to be here. Ooh, what's that? That's a charbone? Yeah, so anytime you see a mob like a charbone that's like, okay, it could be even, or it could be red. Oh, I don't have enough mana. Go for the lesser version if there is one. Like Icebone skeletons, maybe those are too high. How about a lesser Icebone? That's what I had to do a lot of. This zone was just like, it was a struggle. Like, the reason why it took me so long to make this video is because it took me forever to level here, but I was committed. I was like, I'm going to Lake of Loman. I want to do a Lake of Loman episode. And I did. And now I'm never coming back. So yeah, I'm going somewhere else. I think I kind of want to go to High Keep. But the thing about me doing like a different zone every level, and I know I did do Crushwind for a few levels, but I'm probably going to do High Keep for more than one level because I really like High Keep. Like the Goblin Camp in High Keep, that's like one of my top 5 favorite camps in the game. So get used to that if I go there. But I might decide 25 is too low. I might go back to, well, I want to show the Graveyard in Mistmore, and I want to do more Fireplace in Unrest. So those are some options. We'll see. I'm still bound in Steampunk, as always. You know I'm committed to that. All right, level 24 in the books. Lake of Loman definitely in the books. Bye.